The following material may contain sex, coarse language, and violence.
Of course! Of course!
When last we left our heroes, they had been caught attempting to assassinate the Duke! We're dealing with Sephiro's group. So, when last we left these guys, they were caught attempting to assassinate the Duke!
To be fair, the two of us who were here actually saved the Duke's life.
I believe that was Seraphine.
Healing potions and healing magic.
The healing thing
Yeah.
supposed to be stopping him from being killed.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So we're counting that, are we?
Yes.
Well, yeah. That's got to do something in our favour, right?
She stopped him from being finished off. We made sure he didn't die from his current injuries.
Yeah.
So, what you're trying to tell me is that because you realised you weren't going to succeed in your evil plot, and quickly change sides, I should grant you bonus XP. I should probably uncase the dice, but I'm probably not going to need them. You guys aren't dumb enough to get into combat, are you?
No, why would we do that?
Sephiroth's loud mouth. Adrian's obstinate arguments.
We really should.
Right, so you have been imprisoned. All of your things have been taken off you. So they have taken all of your herbs and your spell book and your magic staff and your, well, you left that behind. They've taken all of your notes and your journal and your scrolls and your rings and your staves and your slings and other such things from you, and your rat. They took your rat off you, and at first they were like, "Yo, this guy, the rats are already pulling around," but you were like, "No, that's Scribbles, he's mine." And then they laughed and they held him up by the tail and tormented him and flung him into a tiny little box. And you could hear him clearly
Scratching
in pain.
Aww.
As the guy's like squeezing him, he's like, "Ah, stupid fucking rat." The jailers are not kind to any of you.
I guess we have to kill them. They hurt Scribbles.
Not get into combat!
You are separated and locked into different areas of the dungeon. During your journey into the bowels of the keep, you notice that the lower levels are of a different make. They're mortared grey stone, more traditional Merland design. They don't look as fancy and imposing as the dark stone, tightly locked stone of the upper reaches. The architecture is different, with archways instead of more angular look.
Oh, query. Holy symbol.
Gone,
Okay.
because you can use magic with it.
Okay, I didn't know what the standard practice was, because I know that you don't normally separate holy people from their symbols.
They don't believe you're holy, so
Oh, really?
they took it off. They think you're some kind of filthy necromancer at the moment. They've made that clear. They're like, you suck, fuck you. That's what they've said. Where was I? Yeah, it's also clearly in disrepair. There's like, you see passages that have just collapsed and been left that way in ruin. Like, they've boarded up the entrance to it and left it alone. There's rotting wood doors that have just been pulled off their hinges and like leaned up against the thing here. The bars of your cells are rusty. They're damp and cold.
I imagine it would be up here.
And you have been flung in and left to your own devices.
Are our cells near each other, or
No,
You said we were separated.
you're separated very far.
is there anyone else in our cells?
No.
What is there in my cell?
What would you like there to be in your cell?
Somewhere to sit.
There's a pile of straw in the corner you're expected to sleep on.
Okay. Well, I guess there's not much I can do.
Are there other neighbouring people in cells, or are these mostly...
How would you know that?
Or do they not have bars that I can see?
No, it's like
across?
doors, clunk,
Okay.
barred window, little thing.
Well, I'll look out through the barred window and see if there's anybody on...
They haven't even lit the hall. They've taken the torch with them. You're in the dark. You hear the dripping of water, the howl of the wind on the outside is very diminished. So you imagine you're pretty deep.
Yeah, I will probably use like cantrip to light something up.
I might as well look
Straw.
I might as well make a search for like any like secrets or hidden things in here, because we can.
Yeah.
Just roll a d6 and then who knows? It's worth a shot.
You got a 4. I got a 4. Yeah, so like I'll take some of it out and then like see if I can build something that'll burn for a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you've got some light.
Yeah. Is there anything interesting in my cell? Like any like cracks in the wall or way to escape or anything like that?
perception.
3.
Nope.
No. Okay. Yeah.
Are there windows?
No.
Aside from the one in the door, I take it.
Yeah, it's just that little peep window thing.
So what are the rusted bars that you mentioned part of?
In the little window thing.
Oh, that's the part that's okay.
And the hinges on the door are rusted. And the door itself, made of iron, of course, is rusted.
Well, I might as well try shoulder
You can't
patching
see anything. You've got some, like, okay, so someone has scratched, like, lines, strike-throughs on the wall in the traditional prisoner style, counting the days they've been there, and the wall is covered in them.
Okay.
There's some blood in some of the scratches.
Yeah.
There's someone has burnt a symbol on the floor in sort of like the vague shape of like a serpentine thing with maybe wings, or either that or it's got a boulder on its back.
Yeah. So I use effect normal fires.
Okay.
Cool. It works. I don't die.
Okay, what are you doing with it?
I'll cast it on the small fire I've made,
Mhm.
and then just make it so it's really bright, but it doesn't consume fuel very quickly.
You can do that.
Yeah. And then I'll move some more straw over it and just try to keep it going for a while.
Cool. Okay, who wants it first?
Once what?
You don't get to know until you decide.
This is wrong. I win. I get it first.
Oh, you lose. Come on to this.
Sometimes you hear a noise outside the door.
Go on.
Hmm?
Go on, fire, go on.
Okay. And you hear someone say, Are you there? Necromancer, are you there?
Yes?
You just confessed to being a necromancer. Your execution is in 5 hours. No, I'm joking. There's a necromancer, are you there?
Well, I'm not really a necromancer, but...
We have heard tell that you tell lies. No problem. We don't really care. Necromancy is not illegal on the Frostwatch.
Okay.
It's a necessary skill study of magic, I'm told. I'm not an expert in such things, and we don't have the time for the debate. Do you want out?
Well, of course.
We can get you out. But we need you to promise to help us first.
With what?
The Duke.
Oh. That didn't exactly go well for us the first time.
We understand you failed in your attempt to free us from his tyranny. But I meant Duke Roman, the rightful ruler.
Oh.
He lives in exile and needs your help to take his rightful place as his father's heir.
What about my possessions? Will I be able to get them back?
We can try, but we can't promise anything.
What about Saphiro and Lee?
I will be contacting him when I have found his cell.
Okay.
I can't stay long. I'll be back in an hour. Think about it.
Okay.
Really? About
Back up.
5 minutes. About 5 minutes later, you hear the heavy footsteps of a guard,
Yeah.
and
I'll dim it down again.
there's a rap on the door. It's like, "Wake up, demon summoner!"
That's rude.
Right. I suppose you don't want your food then.
No, I never said that.
Right. It's soup. Do you want it?
Well, of course.
Well, come get it.
I'll move over to the door.
Liquid soup is thrown in your face. There is no bowl. Well, there was one, but he's keeping it. Splash. Dex to dodge.
5, so yeah.
Cold liquid soup splashes all over the straw behind you.
Wasn't even warm soup.
An end of bread bounces off your head comically.
You're an asshole.
Oh, I can't wait to start interrogating you, boy.
At around about the same time as this is happening, a guard comes up and knocks on heavily on your door, like,
Yes.
You want food?
I'm fine for the moment.
Righto, no food for this one. You're not going to last long giving up your daily food.
I'm just not hungry right now.
Righto, you're the boss.
Why am I in here?
You stand accused of attempted assassination of the Duke
What for saving his life with healing spells?
by leading a party of assassins into him. The other matters are being considered. We will be interrogating each of you separately soon.
I can't wait till I talk to King Steve again and tell him how you treat his messengers from the south.
I can't wait till we hang you by the neck until you're deemed fit to re-enter society.
Oh, so you've already made your decision.
Oh, I know my mind, but the Duke insists that we do things properly and find out truth behind things. But we know your kind. Assassins.
he stumps off. You hear the sound of soup being drunk. At the same time, a guard approaches your cell, but you're not here.
Oh, I see. Oh.
So things happen or don't.
Piggy and spit.
Okay. A little bit late after that, there comes another sound. It's in the darkness outside your cell. You hear another sort of little scratching sound. You see a little glimmer of light.
Scribbles?
No, my name is Mary.
Hello?
Are you the one they call Saphira the Rat Necromancer?
I don't believe I've ever been called that, but my name is Saphiro.
That must be a
Paladin of
coincidence.
Tor, at your service.
Ah, they said you spoke lies.
I never speak lies.
Then you're not the man I'm looking for. Do you know which cell the assassins are being kept in?
I'm considered an assassin, but I am not an assassin.
Oh, I see. You profess innocence. That's a good one. You are no doubt victims of the injustice handed down to you by the false Duke.
That's the one.
We may be able to get you out, but in exchange we need your help.
I will not do anything that is unjust or evil.
It is justice we seek,
Then you have my ear.
and my bow. It is on behalf of the true Duke, Duke Roman, that I come. He is living in exile, believed to be executed by his wicked younger brother who has usurped his position.
I was about to ask, is this the older brother that Adrian was telling me should probably have rightfully been the Duke?
As you know, it is the right of the eldest. A right cruelly denied by duplicitous political scheming, by what at best is a hopelessly naive and thoroughly duped younger brother, and at worst an intentional participant in this horrible outrage.
So you think some enemy of the realm has been misleading the younger Duke into doing things he did not necessarily want to do in order to use him as a puppet in the keep?
At worst, that might be true. I mean, at best, that might be the case. At the worst, he is a willing participant. Either way, he is no Duke. Surely you must have realized this through his behavior.
Yes, well, I didn't sense any overt malice in him, but
But then
He
you
is a
never
proud-
cast. But then you never cast your.
he is a proud little fellow.
As I'm sure is appropriate. But can we make a deal?
If the cause is just, then yes.
I leave its justness up to you.
So you can get me out of here?
We can try.
And what about my possessions? I will be of no use to you without my holy symbol and...
We cannot guarantee success there, but we will attempt to retrieve them.
Oh, and my small friend is in a box.
Don't worry, we've found the necromancer.
No. I'm referring to my little rodent friend.
Is he a necessary part of your magics?
No. But I would very much appreciate it, and it would go a long way to helping me join your cause if you could rescue him.
We'll see what we can do.
Thank you. Have you got a hold of Adrian or Lee, or...
We're trying.
And do you know if Lasara has maintained possession of the item that I left in her care?
I know little of these matters, and I don't have time to discuss this.
Very well.
If we are successful, we will return soon.
So, sometime later, as she comes back,
Have you made up your mind?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay.
and she goes. Sometime later, you will hear a clink, and the cell door will open.
I will cautiously approach it.
Okay.
And then sort of peek around one side, and if I don't see anything, then peek around the other.
Uh-huh.
Do I see anything?
Walls, floor, nothing really because it's dark.
Hello? I'll look towards where the voice is.
You feel a sack being pushed against you.
These
take
are
it.
as many of your possessions as we could retrieve.
Do I have time to get into my armour?
Very little time. We've only a few hours.
I only need 10 minutes.
I don't know how long that is. Quickly.
Okay, if you can help me into the armour, it would be quicker.
I know not of these things.
Can I see any?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, I'll try getting on the
Meanwhile,
armour.
in your cell, the similar thing happens with the clinking noise.
Fire on.
Okay, you see the door open ajar.
Who's there?
It is I.
Do you have any of my things, or are we just going?
I have some of your possessions.
There's a sack.
Okay.
Gives you the sack.
Yeah. What's in the sack?
There's a spellbook and a robe wrapped around all of your things.
Okay. I'll put on the robe.
Your golden letters of rights are not present.
Okay.
Well, obviously they'd be stored in the strong room.
Yeah.
You didn't keep yours behind in the hotel? Or the inn, I should say.
No, because the letters of rights are basically worthless down there.
No, I mean before you came to... were summoned to the keep, you didn't leave it in the local inn, I should say.
No.
Yeah.
If you had any fungible monies or letters on you, they'd be missing too.
Yeah, so...
Now you'll also find a badly mangled and wet rat.
Mangled?
Well, you know, used up.
Oh.
Kind of beat up looking rat.
Scribbles! How bad is he?
He's leaking water.
But he's not like... is he gonna die, or...?
Doesn't seem to be.
Heal them.
That's what I was wondering. I'm not gonna waste it if he's like... if he looks like... if he was like really fucked up...
You
then I
have
would-
no means of diagnosis,
Hmm.
having not taken the healer perk.
Hmm.
I mean, I suppose if you know delving, you could do that, but you don't.
I don't know Delvin. I can just judge him based on the general look.
He looks wet.
Okay.
That's bad.
Thanks, Rat.
Heal
I'll try and dry him some.
Heal them.
With your,
With some of the hay and stuff that was in the...
okay, you know, have a dirty, wet rat, damp rat.
You okay, Scribbles? You settle in. Just rest up.
So you put your armor on and your hammer and your
Holy symbol.
holy symbol.
They got that.
Yeah.
I take it they couldn't get my stuff.
Well, of course they can't. They're not magic.
Okay.
They couldn't physically.
I didn't know if that changed once its true form is revealed or not.
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
You have to speak a command. You don't know this, but you have to speak a command word to make that stop happening,
Oh, okay.
and to make it start happening again.
Yeah.
So how did I seem to remember the last thing was you said you couldn't take it. They couldn't take it off you. So they like picked you up while you were holding it and dragged you to the
No, they
cell?
basically made him just leave it standing there because it basically stands perfectly on its point.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's still there, I'm guessing.
A previous possessor of the staff of Magius in a much older campaign of mine used it to save themselves from falling off a cliff.
Oh.
They were falling down, they jammed it out towards the side of the cliff, it touched, they said the word, and nothing in the world could make it move after they say a certain word.
Yeah.
And they
Oh, okay.
That's cool. Probably was a nasty shock to their
dislocated their arms.
Yeah.
They made that happen.
Yeah.
So when they got back up, they needed in rest and healing. Anyway, you both meet up in the twisty, winding corridors beneath.
Adrian, shh. You were supposed to be met here by another guide to take you to Duke Roman. He's in my armor.
Is he okay?
He's a little messed up, but you'll be fine. We were almost unable to get the rat. The guards were playing an entertaining game of submerging him in water and seeing how long he could stay down there. Bastards. Yes, many of them do not have related parents. You are wise to see that.
Can we straighten the candle and the moon up? Nice, thanks.
So we still can't see this woman, this Mary.
Yeah, well,
yet.
he's got light. What you are greeted by a grubby serving kitchen winch style thing.
Should I put this out? Light will give us a way down here.
Oh, damn it.
Sorry, I can only be so quiet wearing this. Yes.
Eventually, a slim male figure comes up the passage, and he's like, "Oh, I wasn't expecting to find anyone here. I was just on my way to clean out some of the cells."
The cells get very dirty when their occupants do not care for their waste.
They should care about their necks more. Ha 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 ha.
And the moon is welcomed by the deer.
These the two then.
You will take them to the Duke?
Of course. You've done well. Your service will be remembered.
Aye. The gods preserve his grace.
God's preserve his grace. My name's Falco. Don't laugh.
What about Lee?
Who?
Our other companion. The Chinaman. Yeah, we couldn't find him.
Oh, did he escape on his own?
He might have. Maybe he stuck a lockpick up his. I've heard
We
somebody
don't have
do
time
that.
for your fripperies. Follow me. Dim that light.
Yeah.
I mean, put it out completely.
Okay, I will.
Right. Now follow me. Put your hand on his shoulder, and you, big fellow, put your hand right here on mine. You feel from the feel of the fabric, this must have once been a fine garment he's wearing, but is now rags. He will lead you down, down, down. At one point, the stone passageway crumbles away, and you are being led down a hewn ice passage. And finally, you come to a door that doesn't seem shit. He opens it with a big key. You are led inside. It's well lit.
And warm?
No. He locks the door behind you, crosses over. There are two other men in the room. They're in leathers. They've got swords on their hips. They exchange a few words, and then you are led through another pair of doors into a warm room. In fact, it appears a partially collapsed room, but a warm room nonetheless. It seems to have be the remains of what must have once been the keep library. There is a fellow goes over to a chair and gestures you to come over.
I'll approach.
As you approach, a man stands up out of the chair and sets aside a weighty tome, puts a proper bookmark in it, closes it and sets it aside on a small table, turns around. He's wearing once fine but still well kept clothing of a noble nature. His tabard is black, but it has the sort of orange flame and charging boar on it as well. He is long-haired, blue-eyed, ruggedly handsome, a little pale. He turns around to greet you with an air of superiority about him. The kind of air that people who just know they're better than you tend to have. He's like, and he turns around to greet you. He says, the prisoners. Welcome to my home in exile. May I present His Grace, Keeper of the Frostwatch Oath, and correct and proper Duke, His Grace, my Lord, Duke Roman.
Your Grace, Pharaoh Paladin of Tor, at your
Please
service.
rise. I'm assuming you hadn't knelt.
No.
There was a slight frown at that, but
I
otherwise,
like that you assumed that I did, because he would have.
Yeah.
Saphira would have.
otherwise I have to dock you. Please. I have no formal title at the moment. You may call me Duke Roman, if you insist. But more correctly, until that time, I am simply, I suppose, his Lord Rains. You must be, if my information is correct, Alistair Falk?
Adrian.
You are, from your accent, you're Romanian.
Yeah.
From the western regions.
Yes.
If you haven't been there in some time, I would suggest perhaps more rural.
Yeah, something like that.
And you, of course, must be Saphiro, the priest of Tor.
Paladin of Tor.
Of course. I was expecting a third, but I am told we could not retrieve him.
He might have escaped on his own.
It's very likely. He does seem a
First things first. Did you lead a doppelganger assassin to kill my brother?
Yes.
And you did this on purpose?
No. We did not realize that she was a doppelganger assassin until one of his advisors slew her, or hit it as it turned out, and it reverted back to its original state. At some point, obviously, our real Sulan had been replaced.
Probably
by the
when she was
doppelganger.
taken by the dragon.
Quite possibly.
Ah, so she left you to become a cultist.
No, I mean a dragon literally picked her up off a wall in Norgard.
Sorry, to be taken by the dragon was a phrase in the lowlands for to have joined a dragon cult.
Okay.
No, he means this quite literally in this
see.
case.
Well, that's not the first conclusion one jumps to.
Mm.
Well, it is well that you had not intended to assassinate my brother, for I could have no dealings with dishonorable assassins.
That is fair enough.
I choose to take you at your word. I don't sense any deception about you.
It's good that somebody up in this area of the country is going to take me to my words, because your little brother sure didn't.
It is unfortunate, but he has been misled. I choose to believe that. I cannot countenance that he would betray myself and our father and our family in this manner.
I didn't sense any maliciousness from him, so I would not be surprised if he is being led astray by a bad advisor or something.
Well, there was that one advisor that seemed to blame us for everything.
Yes.
That seems to be...
Yes.
The new one from
Yes, I'm very familiar with Baron Allen.
Yes, we had indirect dealings with him in the capital. Or more accurately,
Yes,
our
he
deeds.
has
reflected on
many
him.
allies who back up his stories. From the communications we've overheard and intercepted, your enemies in that city paint quite a villainous picture of your group. Much of it cannot be believed, of course, and is therefore lies and falsehoods.
I'll just quirk an eyebrow at that.
I see. Well, it is said that your group of villainous thugs did loot an ancient crypt of a precious artifact.
That's not
Well-
entirely true or false.
Well, we went to an ancient crypt and we were given gifts.
Yes, we were not intending to loot the place. It was a search
It
for
was
some
also
answers.
said that while you were there, you unleashed an unspeakable evil on the world.
That is true.
That was an accident.
But yes, it was an accident.
But yet, it is also claimed that the same group of villainous ne'er-do-wells somehow were so incompetent that they could not escort a single sausage across the city.
Well, we discovered the sausage was in fact part of a conspiracy and was actually filled with gold.
A golden sausage conspiracy.
Yeah, it was
was
part of
some
a
kind of
bribing ring that was
bribery,
going
right?
around in the guards.
It stresses the mind more than transubstantiation. Well, no matter. You see, I remain here in exile, in a place they never think to look. A place that I found in my youth. And imagine that this repository of wisdom, a far better throne room than the cold, stark place above, with its dark corners and lies and secrets.
Yes, was this a hidden refuge of a mage of some kind?
No, once this keep was entirely made by men before the original collapsed. This is part of the original keep, and a long-forgotten library.
And one passageway still existed joining the two.
Rather, one passageway collapsed into another one, and became a new passageway.
How long is long forgotten?
Many hundred years. Judging from the most recent date in the collected works I've been able to find here.
That could certainly be interesting.
By all means, while you're here, make use of it.
Thanks.
I thought you wanted his help. I didn't think you want to lose him to your books.
Oh, surely. A young adventurer thirsty for questing and adventure would be able to pull himself away from dusty tomes long enough to do real man's work.
You'd think so.
And yet here he is. Well, what I'm asking is simple. Help me replace the Duke and take my proper position.
How?
Good question. I obviously cannot kill him. I would not see harm done to my impetuous younger brother.
Well, perhaps the first step would be finding out exactly what is going on before we make any rash moves.
Seraphine might be able to dig up some information.
Lasara, you mean?
Right, I'd forgotten.
Your brother recently got another advisor. Her name is Lasara, an elven woman.
Except I'm to believe her name is actually Seraphine.
Possibly. I
It is
who
good
knows
that you're
what?
not a very good liar.
Who knows what name she gives to different people she meets?
Women.
Wonderful, aren't they?
I'm familiar with Lasara.
Well, she can be trusted, I believe.
She has recently come into possession of a certain artifact.
That I gave her, or are you talking about something else?
That you have entrusted to her care.
I hope she still has it.
While she has it, her life is in danger.
That is what I also fear.
We have put together a plan, my few trusted advisors and I. What we require is proof of collusion, of malfeasance. A small adventuring party such as yours would be able to gain access to the new upper keep proper, enter someone such as the Baron's quarters, and find any disreputable documentation that would prove this. Once that documentation is in hand, I can challenge my brother's champion to honorable combat and take the throne.
Unfortunately, you've kind of
Got
the two wrong members of the
half
group.
of the party.
Lee would have been perfect for that, as would the real Sulan, if he even knew she's alive or not.
We can only hope she's alive.
We still hope to recover the third member of your party.
I mean, if he escaped on his own, chances are you'll probably find him wandering around.
Yeah, you'll probably find him insulting either a woman or spitting on somebody and calling them a pig Ian.
A what?
I don't know.
What is a pig Ian?
It was a police telephone box. I walked all round it. Barbara, you saw me.
You don't deserve any explanations. You pushed your way in here, uninvited and unwelcome.
I think we ought to leave.
I don't know. That's what
It
he
was
says.
an insult he used.
I don't know his language. Well, of course, at some point the guards are going to realise, if they haven't already, that we are not in ourselves.
Yes. And once that happens, they will search outwards from the castle, giving you an opportunity to get in and search for these documents.
Especially since we're already below the castle.
Indeed.
So do you have any other
Did you have,
ways in, aside from the one we came in?
do you have proper maps of the castle?
Yes. We have mapped out the underquarters as best we can as well. Although I'm loath to send any of my retainers into the dangerous, collapsed areas.
What was lost during the collapse?
The entire keep fell. A new one was built atop it.
Is there anybody that, I don't know, we could possibly disguise ourselves as to
So,
get in there? Servants or...
if the entire keep fell, does that mean the treasury fell with it?
The new treasury? No.
What was there not one in the original keep?
Yes, as to where it is, I couldn't say.
Because if we need to deal with that army's affair, that might be something we have to look for.
We do have to find that ring.
Ring?
Okay, one of the main reasons we come here is we were in search of an ancient magical ring. It bears bronze with a small lightning bolt on it.
No, I don't know of it.
Apparently was in the possession of your brother in the treasury.
Well, if you need it to stop an army, and if it concerns the Frostwatch, then you may have it. Once I see throne and
Of
can
course.
grant access to that.
Yeah.
And I'm fully aware this may seem suspicious, but it's not.
It would be the only payment we would need aside from seeing justice done, which is its own reward.
Meritorious. Well, you will be hungry and your small mouse is wet. No doubt you will require some time to...
If I could just take him to a fireplace and...
No,
There
let
has
me
to be
look
one
at him
right there.
first, Saphira. That might be the worst possible thing to do.
Really? It's
Yes.
cold. I would have thought being warm would be...
No, not necessarily.
Okay, well then I'll hold out the scribbles towards Adrian.
It's a rat.
Yeah, I know, but
It's still a rat.
healing check.
Go ahead.
I made it.
Shit. This man's internal organs are like those of a rat.
No, I mean, I realize that while my knowledge is focused towards humans, there is still, like, similarities and...
He appears to have been polymorphed into a rat. The rat is waterlogged.
Okay.
There's a possibility its lungs may be filled with water, or at least have some water in there, judging from its cough.
I think
Administer a squeezing and dangle it by the tail until these lungs drain.
I think his lungs might be filled with water. You might have to squeeze him and then dangle him by his tail.
Again, I'm not an animal care expert. I just imagine that would work.
Well, Adrian isn't exactly trained in rat care.
Yeah, so
that's
Maybe you should do it, Adrian. Right hands are
covered in gauntlets.
yeah.
like these AJ Styles gloves.
He really does.
He does. But
He's not taking them off.
I noticed.
Fucking little fat boy.
Scribbles, will you?
Scribbles, can you hear me? I think I need to squeeze you to drain the water from your lungs.
He spits some water at you.
Okay. I'm going to be really careful, because I really don't want to hurt Scribbles, but...
Oh, well, that's impossible. He's bendy and flexy.
Oh, come on.
Okay,
just a little squeeze.
You take care of the rat.
Yeah.
Fine, whatever. I'm going to kill the little fucker off.
But he's Scribbles.
He's got a lot of other problems too.
He's awesome.
Saphira, you might want to heal him.
He just needs to be by the fire for a little while and warm up.
It does look like a pathetic rat.
Is he, like, bent in the wrong places and that sort of thing?
No, not really.
He's just bedraggled looking, isn't he?
Yeah.
All mussed up.
Is there any, like, bruising on the rat?
Some.
Yeah.
Minor, I guess.
The thing is, like, it's so small that, like, minor bruising is still, like, a large... You know what I mean? Like, it's still, like, most of its body. I don't know. I don't want the rat to die, man.
No, neither do I, but I don't think he's so bad that I need to use a cure light wounds on him.
You get it again tomorrow!
What if there is no tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay.
What if Lead almost dies again when Craig shows up?
Did I get the potions back?
Yeah, sure.
No.
Yeah, because what the rat needs is more liquid in it.
No, I'm just saying that's what I could use if Lee shows up almost dying.
Anyway. So yeah, you've been left alone for a little while in the warm, firelit room.
I'm gonna read.
Read what?
What is there to read?
Well, it's funny you should say that.
Oh.
Because I have a variety of things.
Did I get my journal back?
Yeah, that wasn't considered of terribly great value, so they didn't keep it.
Yeah.
I'll grab the first fucking thing that I find.
I mean, obviously anything regarding magic that catches my eye, but if not, just...
Most libraries don't have magic books in them.
Don't know.
Let's see, I think you would probably be more interested in this one. It's a particularly old and weathered book.
Oh, it's by Count Hector.
What was that,
I
Adrian?
actually intended to give that to Saphiro, but well, you might find it interesting.
Saphiro is, just eat and nurse Scribbles back to health, feed him little bits of food
Mm-hmm.
in front of the fire.
It's double-sided, by the way.
Oh, I see.
The Dry Ponderous Tome is an education in how to address people of various social ranks.
Yeah.
It's dry and ponderous.
Yeah.
It goes on.
Yeah. Oh, there's also clerical ones as well. You might be more interested in this than I am, Saphira.
Oh.
Although you probably already know it. So this one goes into cults that worship dragons and some symbols that they use.
Have you seen any of those symbols anywhere up north?
Well, one of them is on my arm.
Is it on my arm too?
Yeah.
Oh lord, what are we part of?
Well, it says here that it's not actually a cult symbol as such, but it's just been adopted by some cults. It says they're probably led by Chosen, exploiting their marks.
That's a terrible thing to do if you're chosen.
But there seem to be dragon cults all over the world.
I imagine there would be. As far as I know, there are dragons. I mean, they're not super common, but there are dragons all over Jor-Karroc, are there not? Almost everybody has at least a tail of a dragon somewhere, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Shadow dragon, right?
No, I didn't see any, because Ju named him, remember? I couldn't find anyone that referenced him by name.
You didn't happen to get back Ifrit's Folly, did you?
The fake Sulin had that.
Oh, we're never seeing that again.
Maybe. We might get it back. Well, if Duke Roman succeeds.
Well, if she didn't have it with her, it might still be at the inn. But I don't know what they did with any of our stuff that was left in our rooms there.
Yeah. I mean, if they just confiscated it, if Duke Roman succeeds, we might get it back.
We'll make sure he succeeds.
Yeah.
No, I'm not exactly sure how sneaky you and I are going to be able to be. A floor plan's going to help in any back ways into the place that we can sneak through, but
we're not exactly quiet moving around.
particularly me.
Even if you're out of your armor.
What does that mean?
Cut to a shot of you travelling north while Sulin is trying to sneak up on an unlucky bunny, and Saphiro rumbles through the middle of the lush green, yelling, "Rumba, rumba, start, rip!"
Look, Sulin, our rabbit is running off. Look at him go.
How's Scribbles doing?
He's doing better, I think. He's all warm and fluffy again.
There's a contented burble coming from the middle of a wedge of cheese.
See?
Oh, that's good.
I'm sorry, little fellow. Don't worry, we'll make them pay. Yeah, how many members of this group are there? Of, like the.
Well, you don't know.
Okay, how many have we seen? Or would they just
Maybe 7.
I mean, I might chat with some of them, ask them some questions and that. But...
Go ahead.
Well, one of the things I would ask is, so how many of you are there that are opposing the current Duke in favour of the rightful one?
Too few, I fear. Very few know that the true Duke is even still alive, and we don't move for the overwhelming force of the Frostwatch be born against us.
So how was it he was thought to be dead in the first place?
Oh. It is only by happenstance that he is not dead. You see, he was out hunting on the day and the morning on the morning, and his father died mysteriously, though he did not know it at that time. When he was charged by a sudden appearance of a wild, angry wolf. Naturally, the wolf knocked him from the saddle and savaged him greatly. Our Lord stood up and killed him very quickly. It was then that the crossbows from his attendant guards misfired and hit him in the back with 2 large crossbow bolts. Naturally, greatly in pain, our Lord dispatched the treacherous guards.
So how many of...
It was then that bandits found him, strangely and coincidentally. They surprised with a volley of archery, and then attacked with speed and cunning. It is only by a miracle that our Lord was able to easily defeat them all.
A miracle that he easily defeated them all, while 2 crossbow bolts were in his back.
Plus the arrows from the archery.
Yeah.
He moved that day as though completely unharmed by the massive damage he had taken. You alright there, Ray?
It's not even spelt that way and he's still stupid!
Do you get it? Because Roman Reigns no-sells all the damage and just wounds clean. Realizing what had happened, and arriving back to the town to hear the coronation of the new, younger Duke, he quickly secreted himself in the clever disguise of a robe, carrying around a pot of boiling soup and talking disjointedly of pies. He convinced everyone he was an elderly fishwife with his brilliant acting skills. It was there that it was discovered that immediately upon his elderly father's death, the young Duke had stepped up to the throne, as though he knew in advance that his dear brother would be dead. And so it was indeed announced that the true Duke, heir apparent, had been unfortunately killed at the same time in an unfortunate hunting accident, bandit attack, treachery of guards.
Of course they would have at least...
Also his carriage had driven off a path.
So, are there any chief suspects?
Naturally, we suspect the new advisor to the Duke.
There were no signs
Baron
of
Adam.
treachery before Baron Aaron arrived?
Well, Alan replaced the old Baron who was getting old and had requested a retirement to the south. Naturally, when one is 64 years of age and unable to get out of bed, his usefulness is somewhat limited.
Especially in a cold environment like this.
Indeed. Eventually, the would-be Duke returns to the room.
Bow again.
Please, it is not yet appropriate. We believe we have found your missing foreign friend.
Oh?
Yes, it appears he has effected his own escape and is currently giving our trackers fits outside of the town.
Well, that sounds like him.
So we hope to be able to get a message to him soon.
Don't send any woman
he's
after
walking
him.
in now.
Oh, that sounds convenient.
Oh, Lee! You've arrived!
Ni hao.
Our trackers were able to find him out in the wilderness after he had escaped on his own. In there you will find one Saphiro and one whatever his name is. AJ Styles.
Adrian Styles.
Well, you almost got it too.
He's getting better with each one.
That's how it goes. I can't fathom how much time that guy must spend in front of a mirror just making
You
sure
said that earlier.
that
I had
happens
to think how many
every
times
time.
he did this in front of a mirror.
This is like in the gym, just he must do it over and over and over in front of them big mirrors, making sure that it happens every fucking time without fail. Because if he fucks it up once,
Everyone's gonna laugh.
Everyone will laugh at him like they laughed at the original Sankara when he botched his entry. But anyway, yes, and you are brought back together.
Cool.
How fare you, Lee?
Yeah. I'm good.
Did you
Excellent.
get any of your things back?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's just more complicated. It's just too
Yeah.
complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have my thing. Yeah.
That's
many,
good.
many thing. Yeah.
That's good.
Give me a d20 roll to see if you've also picked up any additional gossip while you were overhearing things while you were escaping. You held the dice trays back.
Yay.
Hooray. Was it an 11?
Yep.
11.
Neat. No, nothing important. Just the prisoners are escaped, and everyone's not happy about that because they're assassins and murderers.
How you do?
How did we escape?
You good or bad?
Oh, we weren't horribly injured. Scribbles was a little roughed up, but he's on the mend.
Well, we don't have all of our things. Obviously, there's no way we can get Saphira's sword back without implicating Lasara in a number of things. So, and there's no way anyone but me or the other mage that lives in this town could move my staff. So, we're missing some stuff, but otherwise we're fine.
They took our money.
Well, yeah.
Though I don't know if they can use our letters of rights.
They can.
No, they're not made out to anyone specific. They're
It's
just...
not how a letter of rights works.
Oh, okay.
That's why you got to keep a close eye on them. Right. So it's only a short amount of time before Duke Roman enters the room. I see. We are joined by the third member of the party. Welcome to my underground establishment.
Ni hao.
I'm afraid I do not speak your language, but good day to you. Now, the plan that we have been able to work out is fairly straightforward. We have a guard's uniform, tabard, to equip you with so that you could pass freely around so long as no one recognizes your face.
If I shaved off my beard, that might go a way to helping disguise it. I don't think anybody's seen me without it.
Oh, indeed. And of course, simple peasant garb will do for you.
Yeah.
So, yes, he'll give you basically a layout map of the castle, which I don't have.
Yeah. If you can get me something that the people in the kitchen wear.
Certainly. He'll gesture for someone to run off and get that. Any questions?
Under what circumstances would it be okay for somebody of my disguiser's stature to go into the Duke's personal quarters?
The Dukes.
The Barons is where we want to go.
You'd have to be.
Yes,
you'd have to be a member of his personal guard.
Which I am not quite. Well then yes, I realise we want to go into the Barons as well, which I can probably do like this, but I thought it might not have hurt to check out his abode as well, if possible.
Well, if I'm dressed like someone from the kitchens, I might be able to get in by saying that I'm just bringing them food they specifically requested.
Yeah, you see, that should work.
What about you, Lee? Will you just see if you can dig something up?
Yeah, I'm not good at disguise. I look different.
Yeah.
This is true.
I can. You have thing for me to do?
You're good at blending into the shadows, though, aren't you?
Indeed.
I try. I try.
That sounds ideal.
Actually, if we put enough mud on your face, if you were to pose as, I don't know, a cleaner or stable work or something like that, they probably wouldn't notice your...
A stable worker in the noble quarters.
They don't have anybody taking care of the noble horses, who's a little...
Do you see an abundance of horses up here?
No, that is true.
No, we
Which
have
is
one
smart.
stable. The horses would not make it across the bridge. We keep them in the stablery. For what few we have.
What about groundskeepers or...
And the one groundskeeper I could think of that we have is merely contented with shoveling the snow. And he has a small shack on the premises.
Yeah, I don't think we'd get away with trying to pass Lee off as a worker here.
I think you're probably too recognizable. Also, it doesn't help that you were the one of us who actually took a stab at the Duke.
Not stab is stuff.
Well, yes, okay, but...
Well, we had no way
Fucking Asian Drax here.
Well, we had no way of knowing that it wasn't really Sulan until...
I had no idea what was going on during that whole moment.
Well, if I can try to... I'll need something to cover my hair. But if I can try to get into the kitchens, you can come and request... Say that the Baron has requested food, and then specifically single out me to bring it to him.
That is true, I could perhaps do that. And then escort you there.
Yeah.
Don't know if that's the usual practice. Or
I
you
have little idea as to what he has instituted, but it was not typical for food to have an armed escort.
I didn't know what the trust of the servants was.
In my father's day, trust was absolute. I mean, we are all in the same basket here in the north.
Well, perhaps with the recent escape of the prisoners, every precaution is being taken.
Yes, perhaps so.
If the
Hang
Baron
on.
asks me what's going on, I'll tell him the guard captain told me to do it. If the guard captain comes across me, I'll tell him the Baron told me to do it.
Lee, you can escape pursuit by almost anyone up here, couldn't you?
Yeah, it's easy, yeah.
Well, we could use Lee as a distraction, a sighting of the escaped prisoner to send out the trackers after him, and he should be able to escape. And if not, likely they'll try to bring him back alive.
And then I what is the word? Escape.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
It's easy.
And by the time you
Lead
get
them
back,
away on a wild goose chase and lose them and then sneak away.
and if you get back in time, we should be able to make a case for the real Duke to take over at that point. In which case, you might be safe to come back.
It sounds like you have a plan, and so it is put into action.
It's very quick.
Yeah, I'm getting a little sick of the faff. Right. So,